Hi guys, in this lesson I want to do a quick recap of our balance of payments, show you how to do a few calculations and how to analyze our balance of payments, and then the steps that can be implemented to correct disequilibriums experienced in the balance of payments. So number one, your balance of payments is divided into 4 sub-accounts: current account, capital transfer account, financial account, and then we have our official reserves account for our unrecorded transactions. Now, our balance on our current account is negative. This is an indication of the fact that South Africa is a net importer. If we take all of our exports, which includes our services and other income receipts, and we deduct our imports are more than our exports. Now, this can be one of two things. Either we are not productive enough, we are not producing the things we need, or it is too expensive to produce in South Africa, so we choose to rather import. You look at the next part, our trade balance, you will see that our trade balance is positive. Your trade balance focuses only on your physical goods and gold exported and subtract our physical goods imported. Now you will see that we export more goods than we import. This indicates that the negative amount on our current account shows that the problem lies with our services or with our labor. We are not supplying enough labor to the outside world, but making use of a lot of foreign laborers. Next, we look at our current transfers account. Like I said, our capital transfers account shows the movement of our assets and liabilities of citizens that either leave our country or enter our country. It is indicated as a net amount. That means the calculation has already been done. And the positive shows a net receipt. There was more inflow of capital than there was outflow of capital due to immigration and immigration activities. Then we have our financial accounts. To get this balance on our financial account, we are going to take our net direct investments, we are going to add our portfolio investments, then we are going to look at our financial derivatives and other investments and our reserve assets. By adding all of our positive figures and subtracting our negative figures, we still have a positive financial account balance. This means more money was entering South Africa for investment purposes than money leaving South Africa. Foreigners saw South Africa as an ideal place to invest their money in, and very few South Africans invested their funds elsewhere. Our unrecorded transactions over here, our official reserves account, shows the difference between our current account, our capital transfers account, and our financial account. This indicates that a total movement of 34,475 million took place in our balance of payments. Now, whether we are experiencing a deficit on our balance of payments or a surplus, it will lead to a weaker currency or a stronger currency. The fact that the currency becomes weaker or stronger is only applicable to our next lesson. What is important for you to understand is whether it's a deficit or a surplus. It is classified as a disequilibrium, and we need to fix this. We do this in one of 3 ways, either by engaging in lending and borrowing, where countries with surplus funds lend the money to countries with deficits, and your countries with deficits will borrow funds from countries with surpluses so that they can continue with their importing activities. This is also a good indication as to why developing countries have so much debt. They don't have enough foreign currency flowing into their country to sustain their imports, and they have to borrow funds in order to do that. In the event of a fundamental disequilibrium, that just indicates a persistent disequilibrium. Countries who are members may borrow funds from the IMF. What is important for you to understand is that borrowing is not a long-term solution for your disequilibrium that you experience, because one way or another, you are going to repay this money. And the moment you repay, it's an outflow of currency again, and this will lead to another disequilibrium. Your second step is to change your exchange rate. Now, with normal demand and supply, depreciation of a currency will occur when imports exceed exports. So this will make imports more expensive for domestic consumers, and your exports will become cheaper for foreign buyers. But then you also have to understand a devaluation, and this usually happens in countries where they apply a fixed exchange rate or a managed floating exchange rate. This is when the Reserve Bank makes an explicit decision to devaluate the value of a currency. They make it weaker on purpose to achieve the same outcome. Your exports are becoming cheaper because of the weak currency, which encourages foreigners to buy our products, money flowing in. But it discourages your locals from importing because the weak currency makes it very expensive to purchase goods from other countries. Our last step is to change demand. Now, we can do that in one of three ways. Either by producing goods that will be exported, because focusing on goods that will be exported increases the inflow of money. Or we can increase the interest rate. What you need to understand with an increase in the interest rate is that borrowing becomes more expensive, and this means locals will have to repay a larger portion of their income towards their debt, leaving them with less disposable income. They will therefore have less money to spend on imports. But also, the increase in your interest rate will be an incentive for foreign investment, because anybody who has surplus funds and who wants to invest it wants a higher return. So you are going to explicitly look for countries where there is a high interest rate for you to invest your money. And this will lead to an inflow of foreign currency. You can also apply import control measures. Now, either you can charge tariffs and duties on imports, or you can implement quotas, and this will limit the amount of goods and services that are imported, or make the imported goods or services more expensive. Now, by doing this, decreasing the supply with the quota, or by increasing the price, your demand for foreign goods and services will decrease, and this will limit the outflow of foreign currency. So I hope you understand balance of payments, and in the next lesson, we are going to focus on foreign exchange and currencies, how they are determined.